Hey everyone, welcome back to Microsoft Dev Radio, where we are sitting here talking to really smart cloud solution architects who are telling us about all of the amazing, interesting things they're doing in the Azure cloud. Today I have with me David Hoerster, who's been doing some really interesting stuff with Azure AD B2C. David, I'd love to hear about it. Just pretend I don't know anything about Azure AD B2C, even though people who follow the channel know we've done a series on Azure AD development before. But that there's a lot of truth to that. I'm actually pretty new to B2C, so I'd love to hear about it. Hear some of the cool stuff, some of the advantages of using it, like some of the scenarios. So, um, take it away. Like, what can you tell us about B2C?
Oh, well, I'll do my best. So if you're building a website and you are building something that's consumer facing, customer facing, usually you run into the situation that you need users to be able to log in, to be able to identify themselves. And back in the day, maybe you rolled your own identity store. Maybe you used some of the older ASP.NET identity providers that were available way back in the earlier .NET framework days. But overall, I think a lot of website developers don't want to be in the identity. Um, I don't want to be in the business of owning identity. I'd much rather be able to allow users to bring their own identity to your websites, whether that's a Microsoft account, a Google account, a GitHub account, whatever it might be. That's a really nice way to allow users to kind of continue to use their same IDs across many different sites, and you're really not in that identity credential management business. You can still allow them to sign up with local accounts like an email and their own password. That's always a nice option to have too. And so the Azure AD B2C platform really provides you that ability to easily start to set up those external social identity providers and be able to plug them into your websites pretty quickly. And so B2C is an offering that the identity team has had for a number of years. It's built on top of Azure AD, so think of it really as the Azure AD tenant that you get when you provision a B2C directory, and then you have a policy engine on top of it that allows you to create pretty easy scenarios out of the box to allow users to sign up for your site, sign into your site, change their profile or update their profile, and reset their password. So those are some things that we call user flows that are available right out of the box. And so by allowing you to do that with B2C, you can easily start to integrate identity into your websites. Just probably within 10 to 15 minutes, you can have some really pretty basic but fully functional identity pages and flows in your site up and working right away. And it's a pretty quick and easy way to start to integrate those features into your site.
It's
So,
funny you said that basic but functional is pretty much how I described every enterprise web application I've ever built. So, yeah, like you talked about
well,
some like basic flows and stuff. Can you tell me more about that?
sure. So the basic flows that B2C provides you out of the box today there's really four of them. There's a sign up, sign in, password reset, and a profile edit. There's also a sign up, sign in combination flow. But really, those flows handle a lot of your typical user identity needs. And so I did say that they're basic and quick and easy to get up and working. But the nice thing about the user flows that B2C provides is that it really allows you to customize those flows pretty easily too. So you're doing that all within the Azure portal. So you can provide your own backgrounds, your own colors. You can provide localization support very easily and really all through a series of basically wizard type interfaces within the Azure portal. If you're so inclined to, you can even change the layout of the the templates that are provided for you. So you can actually create your own templates and integrate them in with B2C. So if you don't like the out of the box layout that sign up gives you, and you want to provide it your own flair for your own company, you can create that, um, send it into the B2C policy engine, and that's now integrated into your sign up, sign in flow, um, pretty simply. So it's a really slick offering that B2C provides you.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because I know a lot of people say, hey, yeah, I don't really want it to look like the Microsoft login page, but the fact that you
Right.
can update the look and feel, you can update the layout is pretty great. But then I always think about the other half of the audience that say, okay, so you can customize the flows a little bit, but what if I wanted to just completely revamp everything? Like, is there a deeper level of extensibility or customization available?
There is, yeah. So the out of the box, we'll say a user flow. They are called user flows inside the B2C engine. If you do require a deeper customization of what those user journeys are like, and really, so that is available, and that's what's called the Identity Experience Framework, and usually we refer to those as custom policies. And those allow you really to deeply integrate in with that policy engine that I mentioned, kind of sits on top of the B2C tenant that you provision. And by using custom policies, then you can really take control of what happens in every step of the user's journey through um, their identity and access management journey in your site. So if you need to, let's say a common example is things like terms of service. So if you need to maybe call out to a particular website when a user logs in and they need to accept an updated version of your terms of service. So maybe they've already accepted a previous version, but you've updated your terms of service, and maybe you keep your terms of service in an API somewhere else outside of Azure AD, right? Because it doesn't make sense to keep it there.
Right.
So what you can do is through that user journey process, as I log in, I can then go out and actually integrate in with other RESTful APIs to say, hey, pull down the latest version of the terms of service and check to see when the last time that Dave accepted the terms of service. And if the last time I accepted the terms of service is previously to when the current terms of service is, you can actually build that logic inside of your policy engine to say, all right, Dave needs now to review the new terms of service and accept those before I can allow Dave to continue to log into the site. And so then I can present the terms of service to Dave. Dave can read through them, accept the terms of service, and then I can continue on through my sign in journey through B2C. And that's just one example. And you can add in other ways that you can integrate within other RESTful APIs, build custom logic within your login or sign up journeys, um, all different types of things. It's pretty extensive, and really you're able to call out to other RESTful APIs. And once you're able to do that, kind of the sky's the limit. So you can become as customized as you want. The nice thing too is in addition to the customization of like being able to integrate in with other systems and be able to have custom logic inside of your policies, you can also take advantage of the fact that you can take really total control of the templates um, that that your users are presented. So with user flows, I can change the look and feel and the layout, um, and the localization and all that type of stuff. But I can also just say, you know what, I want to take total control over maybe the JavaScript events that happen on my pages, and really have a really truly custom sign-in journey, both on the client side, so certain JavaScript events get fired, in addition to server-side type of events. So it's really an identity and access management um, platform that you're really working with at that point in time.
Yeah, it's funny you said platform because when we talked about Azure AD B2C at the very beginning, I was like, oh, this is like a software as a service. You can sign up, they handle login for you. But as you start going to the flows and how you can customize them and then the custom policy, I was like, whoa, this sounds very suspiciously like workflow frameworking and deeper programming. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It definitely sounds like a really extensible, interesting platform. Before we wrap things up, is there anything else you want to share about Azure AD B2C with us? Because again, this is really exciting. Now I'm going to be hunting you down to go put some videos on this channel of some of these examples you walk through, especially that terms of service one. That's a super interesting use case that I can see a lot of enterprises wanting to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the one thing I want to say is that the user flows. If you're new to B2C, and it sounds like you might be, definitely take a look at the user flows first. So, even though we talked about custom policies and identity experience framework, usually what we tend to do is to say look at the user flows first, And usually they should cover the majority of your use cases, especially now as they continue to build out the capabilities that user flows have. So there's even some API integration now with user flows, especially during the sign up type of flow. So look at user flows. For a lot of customers, that really encompasses what they really need out of B2C in terms of the sign in, sign up, reset, and editing journeys that a user might go into. But if you do have those custom situations where you need to integrate in with other legacy systems, maybe you're doing some sort of user migration types of situations, maybe just custom logic that always seems to come up. There's also an option where you can go with custom policies, the identity experience framework, and really customize B2C to what you really need it to do. So that's what I would kind of offer out there in terms of getting started with B2C. Look at user flows first. They should take care of most of what you need to do, um, and then take a look at custom policies if you really need to take it to the next step.
Again, David, thank you so much for coming on. Really excited to hear about this. I'm definitely going to have to get you back on to talk even more about B2C. And any type of Azure AD development topic's pretty hot over here on this channel right now. A lot of people are interested in it. Developing
Oh yeah.
in the identity world is so much easier than it used to be. I think you alluded to that at the beginning, and I feel the very same way. So, David, thank you so much for coming on again. Everybody else, we're going to continue to bring you CSAs brought to you via the power of Teams. We're going to keep having really smart people come in and share stuff with you about their stories and what they're doing in Azure and what they're doing to accelerate their customers' journey to the cloud. So thank you again. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notifications the next time we talk to another CSA. We'll see you all next time.